The hometown tradition continues through us. WCCM 1490 Haverhill Lawrence. Costa Eagle Broadcasting for New England. Proud to serve our listeners and sponsors. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to The Buzz with Bruce, your daily look at life around the Merrimack Valley. Get in on the conversation. Call 978-687-8005. And now, the voice of the Merrimack Valley, Bruce Arnold.
Yes, here we are. I tell you, this is so exciting because I haven't seen this guy to my right, don't say anything yet, for such a long time. John Vitale, sit down for a minute, would you please? You can spare a minute over here. We invited Chris Pollone all the way from, he flew up here just special.
You invited him?
I didn't fly. I drove.
He drove all the way from Alabama.
That's right.
And he's in television. You've met Chris before. John Vitale, the voice of Rockingham Park.
Hello. Hello.
And also,
Hello.
also does some sports over here. And I look to my right, was that stage left? And Eric Heenan's here. Eric.
Hi. How are you?
Eric, hi, John.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, very important.
Well, Eric Heenan, I want to tell you, I kind of miss you with the traffic reports that you do. Give us a traffic report now, anyway, will you?
Traffic report right now?
Yeah, give us a traffic.
Yeah, what's going on out at
110 here.
All right, 110 heading down Pleasant Valley Street, looking good right now. As you come up on 125, you'll have just a slight delay at the lights, and after that, it's clear sailing all the way to North Andover.
Of course, none of that information is accurate.
No, none of it is accurate, and I do not verify it, nor was any of the information I gave for 5 years accurate.
Perhaps
John's trying to tell me something.
Yeah, I don't know. You're having
Don't worry, we'll get it
conversation.
covered. Yeah. Don't worry, Mr. Bassett.
So
we'll get
Eric,
it covered.
Yeah.
Now,
It's covered, don't
we
worry.
have to, the
Eric
gentleman.
Heenan's here.
You told him you were going to be here, right, Chris? And he.
No.
No.
I heard it on from Bruce Arnold. I was listening.
Is that right?
Well, I was trying to get some new recipes.
Okay.
I have two kids to feed, Bruce. I never know what to make them for
Give you a
dinner.
Swedish meatball recipe.
Yeah, I heard that Swedish meatballs, and I'm making that tonight.
That's Vera's. Have one of her cookies. There,
I already had 2 macaroons.
That's very nice. So how's it going? You're still doing, well, you're not in the industry anymore. So.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, until they just recruited me back. I walked through the door, and they're handing me
He's back.
basketball schedules.
He's filling out his W-9 form, whatever it's called there.
John asked me for my social security number. I said,
I need.
I said, check Bruce's files. He's so organized. I'm sure he still has it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you can do some games. John's going to do some games, too.
They sucked us in once
they did.
again.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Chris, what are you doing next week?
Yeah.
I'd love to do a game.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
Chris
can
is
fly-
doing.
Can I do Friday nights? Who's doing Fridays?
Chris is doing Cletus
Me.
High against Bubba Tech down in Alabama.
I don't think any football teams here have their own MTV reality show.
No, I
That's
don't.
true.
I don't think so.
You're right, you're
but they
right.
all have teeth, which is different than Alabama.
He hasn't missed a beat, has he? Huh?
The media
It's
doesn't
pretty good.
perpetuate any stereotypes at all. do they?
Some of the guests we've had on, we're live till 5 every day now, as you know, and this is the 10th week of it, 10th or 11th week.
Wow.
Hour number 1.
And usually, what we'd like to do is we've had in the past, Gary Lapp here, retired recently. We had him on for an hour the other day. We had Jack Williams.
From Florida?
Yeah, I was going to say, did you call him at his home? And
No, that's an inside joke, isn't it? Anyway,
Jack Williams, you had Pat Whitley on.
Pat Whitley was here.
Pat Whitley from Anniston, Alabama.
No, that's another one.
No word of a lie.
Oh, my.
Really?
Yeah, I was on his show once
Yeah.
when something big was happening in Alabama, and then he started talking about growing up in Anniston, Alabama.
Oh, yeah, and he was in the Army. That's where he met
Right.
his wife here in Fort Devens, and the rest, now you know the rest. I didn't realize that. That's right, huh? Alabama. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, great. Where'd you park?
See what I mean? See what they do?
Where did you park?
Mike Macklin from Channel 7, Joe Shaka from the...
Biggest head
the
you've ever
Herald.
seen.
Mike Macklin?
He's
big.
about 5'3" from the shoulders down, but he's actually like 6'6".
He's a
His
real nice
head
guy.
is
yeah.
about 4 feet long.
I don't want to say his head is big, but sometimes when you go to Milwaukee, the sausage race, it's Macklin and then the 3 sausages.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
Jeez.
Look ashamed now. Look
What a
ashamed.
gorgeous head of hair.
Never
Let-
worked.
let's get-
Yeah, that's true.
Let's get up to date, of course, with Chris Pollone. You're down in Alabama. How many years you been down there now?
6.
And what TV station is that anyway?
It's WVTM,
Uh-huh.
the NBC affiliate in Birmingham, Alabama.
And what's your position there now?
Sitting.
Yeah,
He sits in a chair.
I'm sitting. I'm over here. I'm a reporter,
Yeah.
and I sometimes fill in anchor.
Yeah. Do you work midday, nights?
1:30 to 10:30. I'm generally the lead reporter for the 10 o'clock show, but sometimes I have to do 5 and 6 when we're
Tonight,
short-staffed.
on the 10 o'clock news with Chris Pollone. Dun, 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 dun,
And now, here's Chris Pollone. Hi, I'm Chris Pollone.
Do they have a lot of the bells and
Once
whistles?
again, tragedy at the trailer park. Let's go out to Chris Pollone.
That happens more often than you might imagine.
I mean, all the bells and whistles.
We have all the bells and whistles.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, as a matter of fact, a lot of breaking news today, Bruce.
What's that?
Well, Nick Saban.
Yeah, Nick Saban
Oh,
is
I
leaving
saw-
the Miami
You
Dolphins.
said they're going to sign for how much?
They're saying about $40 million over 7 years, something like
Now,
that.
who can live on that?
Wow.
But here's
Oh,
the thing.
In Alabama, that's
Every
like
time I'm on
90 million.
vacation,
Yeah, something
something big happens.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Something
hey,
big
listen,
happens.
but you need vacations. I mean,
You
after
do
all.
need vacation.
This just in. Let's go to Chris Pollone at the
Breaking
news desk.
news with Chris Pollone.
One of the give me an example. One of the biggest stories you have covered in the last year or so.
Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, where were you when that happened?
Now, see, wait. Now, he
hiding.
throws that out because now he knows we can't joke about
No,
that.
exactly.
So he's
did it on
trying to keep
purpose.
me and Vitale under wraps.
Just became Chris Downer.
Right.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, great,
Yeah.
great.
Where was I when that hit? I was actually
Hiding.
in Tuscaloosa, Alabama,
What are you doing there?
when the storm hit.
What were you doing in Tuscaloosa?
I was covering the storm.
Okay.
And
well,
inland, because we are a Birmingham, Central Alabama station,
Yeah.
we had crews on the coast. But then about 2 or 3 days afterwards, our crew was so tired and
Sure.
worn out and hadn't slept and whatever, so they brought them back, sent me down there, and I
Yeah.
covered the aftermath for about 5 or 6 days.
What was it like?
Unlike anything you've ever seen.
Sure.
And you can't even imagine what
describe.
it looks like just from the television
That's the
pictures.
thing. We can't
because-
appreciate it from
no,
the pictures.
and,
like
and
that.
it's
I mean,
so vast. They say it's an area the size of Great Britain that was taken out.
Huh.
And, I mean, you really, from anywhere from Hattiesburg, Mississippi to the coast, which is about 60, 65 miles, everything from there on down is destroyed. And an area from just, West Alabama all the way through New Orleans is destroyed. I mean, you've never seen anything like it.
Where did you stay? I mean, did you
Where did I park? I the first night we actually NBC is very good about
Accommodation.
preparing for these things,
Okay.
and so through them, our first crew had a hotel room. Well, when they left, the hotel owner gave away the hotel room. So the first night, my industrious photographer, we went shopping before we left, bought about $300 worth of supplies at Target, and he happened to see a two-man tent for $19.
Really?
And he bought it, and we had to use it that night. We slept in a rest area in a tent,
Sheesh.
which was actually one of the nicer things because for the first day or so, there was no electricity and no air when we did get a hotel, and so it was hot and miserable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you just kind of do what you have to do.
how about any good stories?
More uplifting stories after
Yeah.
this. Chris Pollone.
Let's get back to work now.
Well, there's always something interesting going on, and for the last month or two, there's been a lot with the Alabama coaching search, and stories like that are always funny because it is such a religion there. But on
What about, do you ever cover any beauty pageants in
I
Alabama,
do.
Chris?
I have covered some
You
beauty
really?
pageants.
Any
yeah,
dental expositions
Well,
or
I
anything?
think that's an inside joke
Oh,
that
I'm sorry.
Eric is referring to my lovely girlfriend who
Oh, that's right.
competed in the Miss
Miss
Alabama
Alabama,
pageant
yeah.
Yeah,
four
I met
times.
her. I met her last time.
Wow.
Yeah, she'll be back. She ran to the post
Yeah,
office. They'll
she
be back
did.
in a minute.
The name is a week from Thursday.
It's Sunday. Come on.
But
he hasn't missed a beat
no,
either.
he really hasn't.
No,
I
I tell you.
didn't realize I was being brought in here to be ridiculed for an hour, but I should have.
Chris Pollone, this is your life.
But he has to leave anyway. So.
Yeah, he's leaving.
I was
all
going to
right.
say, God forbid his boss turns on the radio. Huh?
Oh, don't worry about
Where's
it.
Eric?
We can give you a plug if you'd like. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'll
What's
give
the
a
name of the
plug,
company? Come on.
Right,
It's
business.
Ultimate Staffing here in lovely Methuen, Massachusetts.
I lost your car.
We do temporary work, temp to hire, direct hire, whatever you need. If you need some people at your, give me a call.
So you're a headhunter then? Is that what they call it?
No,
Like
actually,
that?
I have recruiters in my office. I'm an account executive, John.
Whoa,
Yeah,
excuse
which
me.
is a fancy word for sales guy, but
13 Branch Street, Suite 214. That's where TV 22 is. In
yeah,
that area.
that's right.
They share the office with
Yeah, they said they were going to do some business with us, and then they didn't.
Oh.
But that was before I was there, Bruce. So now I bet if I go over,
Twist your arm, you know what I mean?
yeah, if I go over there,
John Bassett is about to come busting through that door saying, if he's saying this, he better be paying us for a spot.
That's right.
978-725.
I'm not doing the football games for free.
725.
You will be.
590. That's nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much. I like it a lot.
And by the way, you have 2 lovely children. Thank you for the wonderful Christmas.
And a lovely wife.
And a lovely
You
wife.
get a card.
Wife,
Yeah.
I didn't get no Christmas
How old are
card.
the kids now?
Will be he'll be 4 next week.
Jeez.
And Drew is 19 months going on 16 years.
Yeah, I tell you.
That kid is, when they say, just wait, you'll get one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
got
it.
one. This
That's
kid is
all
a
right.
monkey.
You're going to love it, though. You're going to love it. We have to take a break, gentlemen, all right?
Oh.
You don't mind, do you?
And Eric. Yeah.
Yeah. all
After
right.
the break, more breaking news with Chris Pollone here on CCM.
Where can you have a fun night out and learn new and exciting skills? At Whittier Regional Technical High School's Continuing Ed program, of course. Whittier offers fun, exciting, and rewarding classes for all ages. Take advantage of courses for career opportunities or just for the fun of it. Learn about computers, sewing, and automobile maintenance, or baking and pastry fundamentals. You can learn the basics of international cuisine, home repair, and so much more. Discover all the opportunities for personal and career growth. Registration is Tuesday, January 9th from 5 to 8 p.m. in the main lobby of Whittier Technical High School in Haverhill. To register online, go to Whittier's website at www.whittier.mec.edu and click on Evening Adult Education link. For more information, call 978-373-4101 extension 215. That's 978-373-4101 extension 215 or visit whittier.mec.edu.
What do churches do and why do they do it? This is one of the questions we hope to answer on Living Faith, a program of the Greater Lawrence Council of Churches, every Thursday morning at 11, here on WCCM, your conversation station.
New Emergency Immune Defense is packed with 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, plus zinc and other immune boosters to bolster your immune system. So even at this time of year, you can go out there and live on the edge.
I touched a doorknob with my bare hand. I'm not washing it either.
We're going on a beach vacation in the North Atlantic this February. The kids can't wait.
I'll make snow angels naked. Watch.
Emergency Immune Defense, so your immune system is ready for whatever you throw at it. Now in the cough, cold, or vitamin C aisle of fine retailers everywhere.
The halls with boughs of Halsley.
Ah, the sounds of TomTom portable navigation devices singing in sweet harmony. And now through the holiday season, if you buy any TomTom, you get $100 off.
$100 off.
It's the TomTom Give event. You give a TomTom, we give you $100 off any model at any retailer. So give the best portable everyday GPS solution. Heck, give two. TomTom, find your way the easy way.
$100 off.
Refill your favorite beverage and come on back. Time for The Buzz with Bruce, live and local. Your hometown station, AM 1490 WCCM.
It's The Buzz here. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of January.
Chris Pollone.
The Buzz.
Series
We're live in
continues.
studio with Chris Pollone.
Chris, I thought they had to leave. I don't know.
That's what I kept saying.
Eric Heenan
Live
here.
from Alabama. We're going to check out with Chris Pollone.
And John Vitale along with Chris Pollone were highlighting some of the stories.
It's NASCAR week with Chris Pollone.
Hey, we have 60,000 square miles and one dentist. Just kidding, we don't have any.
You know how much flack Chris is going to take now?
Do you cut that out, would you please? Now, tell us about Alabama. How are you
Well, they're
accepted?
changing the slogan, the Alabama state slogan, to the six-pack rifle rack butt crack state. So that'll make it easier
Nice.
for everybody.
Chris.
Oh, don't they all own pickup trucks down there too?
Has anybody been to Revere lately?
That's true. You're right. You're Somerville.
Yeah.
Now, you're kind of an outsider from New England,
Right.
from up north. How are you accepted down there?
Not well, Bruce.
No.
No.
You ever been tarred and feathered?
I was going to say the first thing when I first moved to Mississippi, I made my first phone call as a official reporter.
Yeah.
And I rattled something off, and the guy said, "Where are you from?"
What?
Yeah.
Boy.
But now,
Boy, you're in big trouble.
Are you a Yankee?
yeah, I get that a lot. You get the Y word a lot. You get Yankee a
But
lot.
there are a lot of Yankees down there.
There are.
Yeah. Especially in this profession.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're accepted. I mean, you do your job, and people in those areas, Birmingham especially,
Sure.
there are more.
How big is Birmingham?
About 200,000 people, but I mean, the metro area is about 1 million.
Is that right?
Yeah, 40th TV market in the country.
And they're all related.
Any of the people in the business down there are from that area originally? Or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are a lot of, as a matter of fact, University of Alabama has a good TV program.
Yeah.
They actually have their own TV station, so they crank out some good journalists. There's some good programs. So, yeah, there are a lot of locals. And it was one of those markets where some people have been on there for 20, 25 years, and they're just kind of local institutions.
And the changes in this industry, as you know, NBC.
Isn't there a guy named Billy Bob Arnold on the radio down there?
Billy Bob Arnold. Yeah, he's from the morning show there. Yeah. The industry itself is kind of, getting closer and closer to all the mergers in the industry.
Yeah.
Has it affected you at all down
Absolutely.
there? Yeah.
Directly. Good question, Bruce.
Is that right?
About 6 months ago, January of last year, I got back from this vacation.
Yeah.
And NBC executives were waiting for all of us to come back from our holiday break, and they announced that they were selling us. And then 6 months ago, they sold us to a company that I used to work for in Mississippi. And it was funny because that company had owned the CBS affiliate in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And so when they put us on the block, working for NBC was the best, other than here, obviously, was the best broadcasting experience I had because it's a lot different working for a network-owned station as opposed to just another company-owned station.
So basically the guy who still actually has a job in broadcasting is going to sit here and complain about it. Bruce, let me tell you how I was affected by it. Did I tell you that I'm doing sales now?
Hold on a second. I'll get to you in a minute,
Making a lot more money, right?
Yeah. That's where it is in sales,
And so anyways, when they put us up for sale, I thought to myself, well, great, the company that I used to work for can't buy us because they already own a station in town.
Yeah.
Well, they sold them and they bought us instead.
Wow.
And so now it's really quite frankly, it's a period of limbo. We don't have a news director, and we just got a new general manager, and we've been told flat out after the new year, always have a resume tape ready to go, and things of that nature. Just expect changes because the new company is very big on market research, and they're going to come in and they're going to do research. And if somebody doesn't like my bald head or my glasses or something like that, I could be gone.
The thing is,
how could they not like that?
Look what happened. We talked about it off the air a couple of days ago before you came up to this area. Look what happened to Channel 56.
Right, and I think that'll just continue as long as the current administration is in and the FCC is the way it is, because they're allowing companies to get bigger and bigger and buy more stations.
I was trying to think the other day, when did the ruling come in that you could own so many stations? There's one company owns, 1,200 stations or something?
Well, it's percentages.
I mean, that's
35% or...
There's so many good people. Seriously, Eric, I look at you and John, too, because you were in the industry for a while, but you have a better job now at the track.
Yeah, wonderful.
But the people, it's amazing.
Well, the day I got laid off... the day before that, CBS Radio laid off 300 broadcasters.
That's right, Danny told me that,
And then the next day, Westwood One did their layoffs, and all I know is just on the East Coast, it was 150 broadcasters. So everyone said, are you going to try to continue to be in the business? And I said, well, there's 450 other people looking for the same 3 jobs, so no. I'm all set.
And not to, not to get... not that we're all going to sit here and sing Kumbaya, but I mean, the fact that there's still local radio going on here in the Valley is a big win. At this point.
And we're still trying because you all know there's no more local radio no matter where you go. I say it all the time. The North Shore, we have nothing there.
Right.
Yep.
Salem was sold. Quincy was sold.
Well, I just spoke with the former morning host, ESX, Chris Colquhoun.
What's he doing, by the way? He was
doing sales for semiconductors or
Is that
something
right?
the last time I talked to him.
Yeah.
So
There's another classy guy.
yeah, he's a good guy. He's got 4 kids. I mean,
In fact, he was in the helicopter, too, wasn't he?
He was until it crashed, and then his wife told him, don't do that
Don't do it
anymore.
again,
And if you watch, obviously for the past 10 years since I graduated from school, I keep coming back at least 2 or 3 times a year, and I always watch the local stations very closely. I mean, it's no secret that I want to work here someday, so I probably shouldn't say this.
Say it anyway.
But I mean, if you watch, especially certain stations in town, you notice the talent getting younger and younger.
There's no question.
Not that some of them, I'm sure, aren't extremely talented, but they're getting younger and younger. Back in the day, you could watch all the stations and everybody. I mean, it was like you had to be 40, 45 just to enter the market. And now there's people much younger than me who, quite frankly, don't have a lot of experience. And I'm a person who believes in knowing when you're ready and then making your move.
That's
whereas, I mean, I'm sure if somebody offered me at 22 or 23, I'm sure I would come here. Yeah. But at the same time, they're taking a lot less money than they used to. And,
Chris, I worked with you when you were 22, 23, and I think you were darn ready.
Well, thank you.
You were a fine reporter.
I thought I was.
What about now?
The finest sportscaster.
Not so much.
And now?
Nice, big, thick head of hair. And
And
wait
now?
a minute.
I probably was more ready then.
No.
But now.
But that again is the industry. You put on any television. Look at the cable industry. Look at what's the CNBC and MSNBC. They just laid off 750 people too. Thing, and I have nothing against.
And if any of them are looking for temporary work,
call Eric.
Call Eric Heenan.
You could do that. You could fill in these spaces.
I could. So I'm here. I'm here to find people jobs.
And I don't want to pick on the young ladies in this industry. Stop over there.
Wow.
You have to. Most of the anchor people on cable, they're all blondes.
Yep.
Have you noticed?
I have noticed.
We're all.
I have a friend.
Oh, Chris has noticed.
A good friend that I used to work with at my current station. He was hired as an anchor at MSNBC. Sold the world. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to grow here and whatnot. They put him on overnights 3 years ago. They haven't taken him off, and for the last several months, he's the only male anchor on MSNBC, and they still didn't move him. They didn't move him today, and he's leaving. I mean, he's because the guys who run it, Dan Abrams. Who I'm sure is a nice guy, but he's a lawyer.
Isn't he? He's an attorney.
He's an attorney.
Yeah, that's right. He used to have his own show.
Right.
When they
until they made
the
him
Abrams Report.
They put him in charge.
Yeah.
Just to get him off the air, I think. And
but he's now the main.
And
guy
he's in
there.
charge. And I mean, those folks. I mean, you look what they hire. I have a classmate who anchors on.
It's amazing who they put in charge of some of these places.
Yeah. Really.
Believe me when I tell you.
We won't hit that, will we? It's 2:28 on WCCM. This is the Buzz in our media section here. Nice to have 3 gentlemen in the studio. Chris Pollone is here
Please
from
call.
Alabama. John No, we don't need calls. John
Please
Vitale,
call.
if you want to, it's 978-687-8005.
Take
and
the pressure
also Eric Heenan is here too, and voice of Metro Traffic.
And I'm back, baby.
For how many years, Metro?
I worked there for 10 years.
That long?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And worked for us for how many
Yeah,
years?
it took
now
him,
he's
and
back.
It took him about 10 minutes to get rid of me. So
And it took you 5 to get you back.
Yeah,
Now
there
you're
you
back
go.
doing high school basketball.
You were here how long on CCM?
I think I was on CCM for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I think it's 4 years.
The mid-90s, yeah.
Yeah, and you, Chris?
3 summers and then 6 months.
Okay.
Best 6 months of your life, big
right.
boy.
John Vitale, you've been around a little longer.
Yeah.
Off and on.
I started in the 80s, with you. You called me
I
one
know.
day, can you do this? And I never left, I
Is
guess.
that what I said?
Yeah.
Can you do
He's
that?
still trying to figure out how to do it.
Back at the old Common and Franklin Street. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
33
Franklin Street.
That's right.
You know what's funny? A gentleman that I work with now used to be in real estate before that market dried up.
Yeah.
He had an office in that building.
Oh,
Wow. Is that right?
Small world.
It is a
Same
small-
building.
Imagine.
He said on the bottom floor in the
Yeah.
corner. I said, that was a sports office. He was in my office.
There was even a chiropractor there for a while, too.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is good.
And you couldn't get cable TV there.
No, for some reason. Wasn't wired.
It's 2:30 here on WCCM. Take another break and we shall return as we talk all about the wonderful media, friends. Yes.
Best chicken pies, David's Famous in Bradford Square. We've doubled the store size and now offer more of the best comfort foods you've come to love.
That's right, David, like your famous turkey, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. And how about your great side dishes, like butternut squash, sweet potato, turnip, and over 28 other David's Famous comfort sides.
Our famous sandwich board has grown too. Try our new open-faced chicken or turkey sandwich, or one of our new sky-high club sandwiches measuring 6 inches high.
And now, every day, you're featuring 6 homemade soups, such as grilled chicken corn chowder, butternut squash with apple soup, All are available in our homemade bread bowls, and you now offer more than 15 varieties of homemade breads.
And to top it all off, Mark, we're now offering decadent desserts. Buy the slice or the whole cakes like Oreo mousse cake, tiramisu. We also have candy, fudge, pies, turnovers, cookies. Call for today's sweet selection.
So if you're hungry and you want the best comfort foods fast, visit the all-newly expanded David's Famous Chicken Pies, the front door, now on South Main Street in Bradford Square.
The best chicken pies, David's Famous. Visit us online at davidschickenpie.com. The best comfort foods and sandwiches you've come to know and love. 978-521-7070.
Sunnyside Diner. Just the name makes you feel good. Just ask Ronnie Ford. He's a regular at Sunnyside. 639 Broadway in Lawrence, right across from Malden Mills. The same delicious food as always, plus mouth-watering Arabic plates and all the great Arabic dishes that have always been popular. Put on your Sunnyside. Get to the Sunnyside Diner and enjoy yourself. Ronnie does. Sunnyside Diner, 639 Broadway in Lawrence. Tell him Ronnie Ford sent you.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
Ah, the sounds of TomTom portable navigation devices singing in sweet harmony. And now through the holiday season, if you buy any TomTom, you get $100 off.
$100 off.
It's the TomTom Give event. You give a TomTom, we give you $100 off any model at any retailer. So give the best portable everyday GPS solution. Heck, give two. TomTom, find your way the easy way.
$100 off.
The best treatment for health problems doesn't always come in a pill. It's not always your head that causes headaches. In fact, since our entire body is linked to our central nervous system, New Hope is showing a healthier way to live by treating your spine. Want to know what else a healthy spine can alleviate? From asthma to sports injuries to dyslexia, New Hope Chiropractic Center is making a difference the natural way. Under the direction of Dr. Renee Thomas, the New Hope Center treats the body with an advanced holistic approach. In their sports lab, they help athletes perform at top levels. In their Kids Need Us Now Learning Center, they have many healthy solutions for problems like ADD. It truly is amazing what New Hope could do for you. New Hope Chiropractic Center, 354 Merrimack Street in Lawrence. New patients always welcome. New Hope always provided. Put your pains in safe hands at New Hope Chiropractic Center.
Refill your favorite beverage and come on back. Time for The Buzz with Bruce, live and local. Your hometown station, AM 1490 WCCM.
All right, Eric has to say goodbye, Eric.
Bye,
Eric's
Eric.
gone. Eric's leaving away the corny young
I
man.
didn't leave yet, though.
No.
Sorry.
Did you notice, Chris?
I did.
That, I said to John, can you? Oh, I gotta go. I
I do gotta go.
Well, what?
I gotta go.
Well, it's so nice that you did stop by, though.
All right, I'll stay 5 more minutes till your next break. Take 1 in 5 minutes. Then you can play
Whatever
one-on-one
you
with
say.
Chris Pollone.
Chris Pollone here today, all the way from Alabama. Now you're up here for
Alabama.
vacation. Vacation.
My winter vacation.
And we asked you one of the questions we did. The toughest story. What happened to Katrina, whatever they call it down there. Boy, they're still having problems there.
Yeah.
See the story yesterday. I guess 7 or 8 police officers.
Yeah.
They surrendered supposedly because they shot 2 or 3 people there, but they said that they were shooting back at them. I couldn't believe the pictures they were showing.
Right. NBC had those pictures from the bridge.
Yeah.
These police officers were supposed to be going after. There was a call of police being down underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
It turns out that wasn't true at all. And they were chasing some folks who were just trying to cross the bridge.
Yeah.
And they claimed that they followed a guy and he made a quick motion towards them, but the autopsy showed that he was shot 7 or 8 times in the back. So it did strange things to people, and people who were good people, and desperation does some weird things to you, and that's what type of situation it was there. New Orleans is kind of a desperate city as it is. You go there and you can have a great time, and you don't have to deal with some of the things that go on there. But like many places throughout the country, there's a lot of poverty, and it's deeply rooted, and it's kind of not dealt with until something like this comes up. And
how about where you are in Alabama? What's the city again?
Birmingham.
Right in Birmingham.
Right.
And that, as far as we've talked about it before, there's crime everywhere. I mean, it's a wonderful statement, Bruce. But how about the crime in your particular area there? Is it on the increase?
It's big, yeah. It's been on the increase, and you're seeing that in a lot of cities in the country. So you can't point your finger just at Birmingham. But, they finished the year with 108 or 109 homicides, which I noticed is more than the city of Boston.
The city of Boston is 75,
and Boston's been growing too, I think.
Yeah.
But and I've done a lot of stories about it, and you try and put a little context and perspective to it, and you try and figure out why. And the police say that number one, young people nowadays don't settle their arguments either with a fight or a chickie run or something. They shoot each other.
And
there's no thought to it whatsoever. And there's just and for a lot of people there's no meaning of life. They figure if they make it to tomorrow, that's a victory, I guess.
The other thing, you probably read about it this morning or did see it, the home invasion in Tingsboro. With, I think 3 or 4 teenagers broke into somebody's house because they had been at a party or something, and they got into a fight. Anyway, they broke the door down, and they're beating the kid, and they're beating the father, and they kicked the mother.
Yeah. I remember one of the first stories I did hear was a very similar situation. There was a trial, and it was a brutal home invasion, which I think a little girl died. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look what happened to the Broncos cornerback, Darren Williams.
You're right.
His season ends, he goes to somebody's birthday party, and then their limo gets shot up. I mean, 2 of the people who were shot in that limo were just getting a ride.
That's it.
The player said, hey, you want to come with us? And your car's down the road. Yeah. You don't expect that.
Bang, they're gone. Yeah. It seemed that I only watched a couple of the reports they did, and I understand that he did have a few problems growing up. I mean, but they had to bring it up constantly.
Right.
He turned his life around.
Right.
So let's move on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. I think that happens a lot. So, people. A lot of times, I think people look for things that because there's so much coverage, and it's so constant that you have to find something else to say, and then sometimes people kind of cross that line into trying to speculate on why this may have happened when it may be simply a case of he was a good guy. And a lot of the things that people are saying is if there was an argument beforehand, he wasn't even involved in it. I mean, they didn't know where they were shooting into that limo. It was tinted windows, and he might have just gotten it.
Sure.
So the fact that he had a rough upbringing and turned himself around, I don't know if that matters. Yeah.
You being a journalist, in other words, you have an assignment editor?
Sure.
What happens now? Talk a typical day for you.
Most days would come in, get in about 1:30. By that time in the day, I've gone through all the newspapers. I'll get on the internet and I'll read several newspapers in the morning, and then by the time I get into work, we start working our sources. We make phone calls and check the internet to see if there are any small towns where we may be missing some stories or whatnot, and then we proceed into an afternoon meeting with all the news managers and the assignment editor. And at that point, we kind of go over our coverage plans for the afternoon. They do the same thing first thing in the morning, and that's how they figure out where the daytime reporters are going to go and what they're going to do.
Because you all got to kind of be on the same page,
right?
Right,
Exactly.
I didn't know that happened.
Exactly, because they have to plan the 5 and the 6, and then by the time we get in, it's kind of like, all right, let's start looking at what we're going to do for 10 o'clock, and if there's anything that we may have missed for the day. And so around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when the assignment editor and the news director decides what stories the nighttime people are going to head to. And so after that, it depends if it's a breaking situation like Nick Saban coming to Alabama, we'll get in the car and we'll go to the University of Alabama and we'll wait. Or if it's not something that's breaking, that we're kind of cobbling the story together from different sources, then we'll start making phone calls and trying to get people on the phone to talk about what we need them to talk about.
When you go cover a story like that, do you usually use the microwave system?
Yeah.
Directly, do you do all your editing right on spot?
Sure, a lot of times, and we're not even as advanced as some places that I've seen where, you have 2 types of trucks. One's a satellite truck. It has a very large satellite dish on the top. And that we can go live from anywhere in the world because you're using satellite technology.
Sure.
But if you're within 50 or 60 miles of the television station, you have what's called a microwave truck. It's the truck that has about a 40-foot mast that goes up in the air, and that's a direct line of sight thing to transmit. And all the trucks are equipped with editing equipment. But I've seen a lot of stations nowadays have laptop computers, and one of our sister stations has cameras that don't even use tape anymore. They just use memory cards, and they take those and they shove them into the computer, and then they just edit on a laptop computer, and then they email the story back to the station. Yeah,
wow.
That's really going to be the story in the next couple of years. I mean, you saw Corey Lytle when his plane crashed in New York City. I noticed, I think it was Fox News Channel, had some of the first pictures, and they were shaky, but it turned out that, a lot of people have, my brother has one, if he comes in, I'll show you, a lot of people have these Trio smartphones, they're kind of like Palm Pilots built into a phone, and they've got a little video camera on them. Well, most of the time you can shoot video and you can email it, but some company has come up with a program where you can stream video from your phone directly back to another source. So this guy from Fox was sitting there holding his phone up, and he was shooting the scene of the plane crash, and Fox was putting it live on the air right there as he held his phone up. And it's not great quality yet, but it's going to get better, and now virtually every day, wherever I've been on stories where if we haven't had a live truck with us, I've used my cell phone to snap some pictures and email them back to the station. And pretty soon we're getting to a place where any reporter or any journalist is going to be able to be in a place and either do a live shot or report live from wherever they are by themselves.
And am I right in saying that they've done this in Iraq? I mean, a lot of they've taken the
satellite phones,
satellite phones, and
video
they
phones,
hung that Chiboni there the other day, and that was all shot with a.
That was shot on a cell phone, right?
And the quality again, that was pretty good.
I remember the days when Don Kent used to write on the
chalk.
That was the weather. He would actually write on it with chalk.
And we talked about this all the time. The old Channel 7, the young lady, her Elaine Day or Lorraine Day, wasn't it? She would write backwards on a plexiglass.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. We had Bob Copeland on the show too, by the way, one of the old timers.
Amazing how
things have changed. And really.
It's leading to number one, it plays into the whole media consolidation and slimming down of the industry because you need fewer and fewer people. Like I told you last time, our commercials are not run from our station. They're run out of another station where you just have one person watching the 3 or 4 stations at a time. And every time they go to commercial break, he makes sure that those commercials get played. And so it cuts costs and it increases productivity, I guess, from a business standpoint. Now, the good thing is you can travel lean and light and maybe have a little phone with you or something like that, and you can report from wherever you want to. The bad thing is, of course, lots of people lose their jobs and quality might be sacrificed.
Yeah. Do you, I'm sure you do this, they take some of your tips, too, once in a while? In other words, you like to maybe cover this rather than that?
Sure.
I mean,
sure, and
free rein.
There are days where they know, especially where my career has involved a lot of sports, and I'm a big sports fan. If something sports related is going on, I'm usually going to be on it. Versus some of our other reporters who don't, probably couldn't tell you the difference between a football and a golf ball or something like that. And there are days where we express our preferences of what stories we want to do, and then also, we have our own contacts and sources who feed us information, and so if we get a tip that something is going on in some other city or whatever is going on, then we can go do that story ourselves.
Any of the so-called candidates upcoming visiting Alabama?
John Edwards is supposed to be in Alabama next week, I believe. And you don't see a lot of candidates in Alabama or Mississippi, from my experience, because they've been so far down in the primary process that it's not a quote unquote important state like New Hampshire or Iowa or something like that. But Alabama has been trying to move its primary up to a week after New Hampshire. And if that happens, I think that we will see.
They want to go a week after New Hampshire,
right? And I guess the National Party has been offering the state incentives not to do that by saying we'll give you extra delegates at the convention, and they're not buying it because they say that in a sense, that's a good reason to have the Electoral College. A lot of people lament it that the person who doesn't win the popular vote can still win the election. But at the same time, it keeps the candidates going to states that they would never go to. Because if you didn't have the Electoral College, they could go to New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, and if you win those 5 cities, you win the election, the popular vote. So, it keeps some of those states that otherwise wouldn't be engaged. And if Alabama was able to move up its primary to a week after New Hampshire, we could see. And Wesley Clark has actually been there a few times.
Oh, no kidding.
General Clark, who ran last time. I've seen him 2 or 3 times. But in terms of Hillary or Obama or anybody else, Romney or anything. Well, Romney was in Tuscaloosa a few months ago. So I guess we are seeing some.
Today, I guess he's supposedly going to make the announcement. I mean, everybody knows you've been running for the presidency for
Right.
a few months now.
Yeah.
And I guess today he has he walks down the steps or
Yep.
something at the
By himself.
Yeah. Why couldn't they wait until tomorrow like I always do? I guess they want to make a change with that there. As you look at the political scene, are there the station that you work for there, do they have any so-called local talk shows on that, other than the news at all? Do you have any interview shows?
We actually do some live interviews. We have an hour-long midday show at 11 a.m. We do some live interviews then, but we've started a new show called 4:30, which is appropriately at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny the way it came about. We were being sold at the time, and that's usually a time where you want to put something big like Dr. Phil or Oprah right there before your 5 o'clock news to drag people into your news.
Yeah.
Since we were being sold, we apparently couldn't buy any programming because neither company would approve it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So we had a spot from 4:30 to 5 o'clock, and so they started a local show, and they put it on the internet, and they put it on TV, and the anchors take total control of it. It's not scripted, and every day they have different guests.
Guests who come in?
Yeah. The Friday before Christmas, our anchor had a guy who plays Santa Claus. He came in and he interviewed Santa Claus.
Oh.
And it was he had his son play Christmas carols on the keyboard.
That's nice. That's nice and local.
Yeah, yeah.
Really.
So it's different in the sense that you don't see a lot of local programming like that. But unfortunately, I don't know how long it's going to be around.
You mentioned Dr. Phil. I don't watch the show much. I just happened to go across yesterday, and it amazes me. Like all these so-called
experts.
They're experts.
At what?
I couldn't believe this one here. A woman was cheating on her husband, and this a third or fourth time. You'd go on television and talk about that? Hello,
Bruce. I'm surprised.
And then they even do a reenactment. He's sitting in the bedroom waiting.
Yeah.
Come on, it's like a movie.
My former roommate produces those segments.
You really?
Yeah, for Dr. Phil. I'm surprised that anything surprises you anymore.
Jeez. Oh, really?
Because the nature of our business is that we'll do research, and people will say that they want to see more stories about education and health. And weather on TV,
and they want to watch PBS,
and they say they want less crime, and less blood, and less sex, and less politics. And then what do they watch? They actually watch the crime, and look at car chases. People, and I'm guilty of it too. If CNN or whatever pops up a car chase, I'm in for at least 45 minutes. I think it's human nature to say what you should be saying, But at the end of the day, why is Jim Lehrer's program on PBS not the number one rated newscast?
In fact, you mentioned that because I try to catch that almost every night now. And we talk about in-depth reporting. One of my favorite shows is on Sunday morning on the CBS Sunday morning show where they can spend 5 or 10 minutes on such a. That's what that hour does every night. And you don't need all the bells and the whistles, the breaking news and all this. Maybe I don't know.
I think you do, though. In a regard, I think you do. I think it's definitely gone too far, and consultants have ruined a lot of TV news.
No question.
But when there's 500 channels, there are days where the evening news in Birmingham gets beaten by reruns of Andy Griffith or something like that.
Of course.
And so with so many choices and so many people, people get their information from a lot of different sources now. I don't wait for TV anymore. All morning long, I've been on the internet watching the Nick Saban thing on Eagle Broadcasting Group. So,
well, you do that because of the fact you are in the business and you want to learn more about the situation,
right? But
that you can report on it later,
right? But a lot of my contemporaries, they don't wait around for 5 or 6. Our 5 o'clock on the NBC station has done not very well in the 6 years I've been there. And the theory is that our demographics were more educated and affluent than the other stations in town. And they're not home at 5 o'clock. That's why we can never draw an audience. And so I think a lot of the flash and dash that you see is just solely because we're trying to catch people who generally don't watch news, who are of a PlayStation 3, iPod, 500 channel generation, and quite frankly, you look why do the networks spend so much money on football and stuff like that? Because you can't find young men to put them in front of the TV.
And when you watch some of these newscasts now, you see how they've changed. It used to be 2 people sitting behind a desk. Now they're standing. Now they're holding papers. They're sitting on a stool. They're leaning on this. They have background with this.
But you see, that's nothing new because they did that years ago. where the reporters are walking around, and so that's nothing new.
Right,
It's like the late show, Leno and Letterman. They're out in the street. That was done with Steve Allen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's not new. It's just
it's repackaged.
That's what it is.
It's repackaged, and
people complain to you at all in reference to they think some of the news is too much entertainment.
Oh, absolutely.
Like all the different shows, Entertainment Tonight.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
But they watch it too.
Yeah, that's it.
They'll complain about it all day long, and then they'll watch it.
Mm.
You know, and I have to say, you know, not to toot our own horn, but you know, toot. I think Brian Williams on NBC strikes a nice balance.
Yes.
You know, he did a show 2 weeks ago where there was just one sponsor, and they had 1 minute and 15 seconds of commercials, and the rest of the show was longer.
Yeah.
And generally, I think on his show, he has something like either 18 or 22 minutes
of news
a night, of content.
Yeah.
And in this night, he had like 4 or 6 minutes extra,
Mhm.
and they did that. They did some longer form reporting that night, and I like that. I'd love to see that continue. But you know, I don't think that you see as much Brittany and stuff like that on that as you do some other places.
Any of the reporters ever visit your area, like the?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously we've got a lot of stuff going on that brings people there. The hurricane brought a lot of folks. I've had the fortune to meet quite a few of the national folks, and most of the time they're very, very nice and extreme. That's the thing that gets lost in all of this. Is I think at the end of the day, you know, whatever station you're at, there are going to be a lot of people who care very deeply about journalism and care about the industry and are very good at what they do. But like any other business or industry, there are a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there are always those people who are not good at what they do. I mean, any workplace has that. And but at the end of the day, if there's something serious going on, like a hurricane or a major snowstorm or a fire or a flood, their job, they're trying to get important, pertinent information out to the public. I mean, that's, you know, when you get into this, you get into it idealistically, thinking you're going to change the world and impact people's lives. And on a daily basis, you know, showing water skiing squirrels and what, you're not. But when the big day comes and people's lives are in danger by tornadoes or hurricanes, people turn to us. They don't turn to the newspaper. They don't turn, you know, they don't turn to the internet yet. And that's when we do our best work. You know, the other days are kind of the window dressing around.
Sure. The gentleman who walked in, Joe Messina and his wife, they made a beautiful cake here, guys. You could have a piece of cake too.
I would love it.
We haven't
had lunch yet.
Not at all?
No.
Oh, we take a final break and come back.
When you're in the green room, you didn't have lunch?
No. I was talking to Eric. Who's berating me.
That was the green room, yeah. We're coming back,
Haven't joined the Merrimack Valley Federal Credit Union yet? Well, don't wait any longer. Now that the Merrimack Valley Federal Credit Union is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in the Merrimack Valley, you too can take advantage of their better-than-average savings and loan rates, flexible and fast loan programs, and money-saving programs such as free online banking and bill payment. The Merrimack Valley Federal Credit Union also offers incredibly smart resources to members such as on-site financial investment representatives, college planning services, identity theft protection programs, discount auto and homeowners insurance, and so much more. Stop by the Merrimack Valley Federal Credit Union's new branch location on Route 125 in Plastow, or at one of their other convenient branch locations in North Andover, Methuen, or Haverhill. You'll be glad you did.
You asked for it, and it's back. Purely personal, every Friday at 3 p.m. Buy, sell, and swap on AM 1490 WCCM, local and live, all.
Country. 1-800-54-GIANT.
Who do you call when your windshield's busted?
Call Giant Glass.
Everyone knows Giant Glass provides the fastest, safest auto glass replacement in New England. We've all used them for years, and let me tell you, people, everyone knows Giant Glass is the best. But with the recent changes in the auto glass industry, more out-of-state companies are trying to install windshields here every day. Companies from Ohio, from Florida, well, who knows where. In fact, if you don't call the Giant, you don't know who's replacing your windshield. But you do have a choice. Don't be outsourced. Call 1-800-54-GIANT or go to giantglass.com. Giant Glass is charged started and based right here in Massachusetts, and their experienced expert technicians stand behind every windshield they install. When you need expert auto glass service, keep it right here. Keep it safe, keep it local. Call 1-800-54-GIANT.
1-800-54-GIANT. 1-800-54-GIANT. 1-800-54-GIANT.
Refill your favorite beverage and come on back. Time for The Buzz with Bruce, live and local. Your hometown station, AM 1490 WCCM.
And we're back here, about 4 minutes left. Come in. I think that's your brother and your lovely fiancée out there.
She's
Come
not
in
my
here.
fiancée
Yes,
yet,
there
Bruce.
you go. How are you? Red Sox.
Don't
Friend,
give people a heart attack.
Hello, nice to see you. That's John Vitale
Hi.
over there. How you doing over
I
there?
came in.
Happy New Year.
Kinda
Sit
got
right
in.
down there. We only have about 3 minutes left here.
Sit
You
down.
finally made it to the post office, huh?
Did we make it to the post office? We don't want to offend our federal friends, but there was a little problem at the North Andover post office.
What are you going to do? I mean, like you told me though, and I said, why the lines? You said because they were
They've
closed
been off for
3 or
4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to mourn the president's passing yesterday.
We're talking about the media here, you know. Okay, yeah. Is it okay? Been all right, yeah.
He has no taste at all. What's the matter with him?
The best thing you like about your job?
Different every day. Yeah. Exciting. I get to meet a lot of fantastic people.
Yeah.
And it takes me, I know 2 states now, like the back of my hand,
Imagine.
Mississippi and Alabama. Yeah. I never thought that would happen. And, but yeah, I get to meet great people every day, and every day I drive into work, and 99% of the time I have no idea what I'm going to do at 10 o'clock that night.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's That's the same thing here, too. You don't ever know what's going to happen. I didn't know they were going to walk through the door, did I?
Nope.
Not at all, but they did.
That's why you're the best, Bruce.
Yeah, right. I'm the best.
Very smooth, smooth transition.
Well, listen, I want to thank you. John Vitale said he had to leave at
I did, but
he stayed for the whole hour.
I'm so intrigued by him. He's such good stories, you know?
There's no question about that. No question about that. That's the best thing. What's the worst thing you like about your job?
Probably, number one, like you said, the consolidation. It's tough seeing good people lose jobs and having to work with less and less. When you work for a network-owned station and they kind of throw everything at you, and then you go to another company and things are slashed, that's always tough. And working in a place where I used to, where I felt like I had a lot of time to do a quality story, and now it's all run and gun, and you got to do them more and more, and I think the quality suffers. That kind of hurts us a little bit.
You go to bed late at night, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
About, between 1 and 3 every night, I would say.
I didn't wake you up the other morning when I called you.
No, you did not. I
You
was
sounded
actually
half
awake.
asleep when I did it, though.
Where did you park?
That's an inside joke. You know, once before, you went to a football game. Or tell
That's
us
right.
Wait,
I went to
30
the
seconds.
the last time I was here, I had told you that I went to the Hawaii football game
And there were
against
how many
Alabama.
there?
93,000 people.
The largest crowd ever.
At Tuscaloosa.
And the follow-up
Bruce's
question?
first question out of his mouth was,
Where did you
park?
Was there anything wrong with that? Said, thank you very much. See, I like your brother better than
Great
you.
question. It was super. That was good.
Chris, good luck to you, and
Thank you. Thanks for always having
and
me.
come back again, will you?
You can't stop me from coming back.
Never
can you?
come back. And John Vitale, when is your game? When are you doing again?
Friday night.
What's
Central
the game?
Catholic?
Andover at Central, boys.
You can hear it
7:30.
all.
Now,
Yes.
only online, though. Not here in CCM, but
CCM
online.
Sportsnet. Visit 1490WCCM.com. Click on the CCM Sportsnet button, and you're there. I got an email yesterday from a guy, a gentleman in Germany. He had been on the air here on the cooking show with Amber Cardadella. We do a cooking show 4 days a week, and 2 brothers came in, and 2 friends came in with her, you know. Anyway, he sends me a nice email. He was listening to us on the internet.
I got an email from Turkey the other day.
Did you really?
Yes. I did a story on the guy's daughter. She was visiting from Turkey, and he watched my story, and he sent me an email from Turkey.
Come back
The
on the
world
bus.
is getting smaller.
It is smaller, smaller. Much success to you again.
Same to you.
And John, you behave yourself.
Yeah, see you later.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The veterans are going to join us following our news, friends, here on The Buzz on CCM.
The opinions expressed on this program were those of the host and their guest, and not those of WCCM or its sponsors.